Hey, hi. I'm Mona. This is Sacred Geometry Universe Video Journal Diary for Thursday. Sorry. Yeah, is it Thursday? Thursday, March 5th, 2026. Anyways, we went out for a walk this morning. It's kind of gray out there, I got up at like 5 this morning. I went to sleep at like 8 though. So anyways, I woke up thinking about something. And yeah, I posted something over there on the other channel. I posted something to the effect of, you don't need to go to school to know everything, right? Because you don't. But you have to make the effort if you want to know something, right? Right. So you go to elementary school and junior high school and high school. And over there, they teach you to read and, math, read, writing, and arithmetic, right? History, whatever, right? But when you go there, if you get something wrong, they tell you the answer and they say, this is the answer, this is how I got it, right? And then the student, oh, okay. And then you give them another problem similar to the one that they got wrong to see if they got it, right? And then you keep doing that and keep showing them until they got it, right? Right. So like in the elementary school system, which is elementary, junior high, and high school, or middle and senior, whatever you want to call it, whatever they call it nowadays, right? That's the elementary school system, right? So you just learn the basics there, right? They don't really, unless you have some good teachers, which would be like AP teachers, the advanced student teachers. Those kind of teachers would probably be like, make you use your thinking skills more, right? So anyways, what I posted over there was just a quick rundown. I didn't really explain too much, but I tried to explain it just so simply as I could. But, I'm not really sure that anyone will see that or if they will understand it, But anyways, when we're talking about, like, the educational system, you'll learn all that basic stuff in elementary, junior, and high school. You learn all the basics. But they leave out some stuff, right? Important stuff. Now, if you decide to go to college, you're going to find it to be a lot different, right? And depending on the subjects you take will also depend on the way you study, right? If you're taking like the sciences and stuff, you have to look up information in regards to science, and usually there's an answer, or usually there's still study going on, or whatever. You can find all kinds of information, but you can't just go anywhere to find that information. You have to go to specific places, like American Medical Association journals or something like that, right? A credible source. And then you will find your answer. And, when you go to the university and you start studying other things, though, because when you go and learn a trade or a trade school, like nursing or, something in the medical field, you have to learn that stuff because there's a specific way to do things. There's a procedure. Just like if you go to mechanic school, right? If you go to mechanic school, there's a certain way that you fix that carburetor or whatever, right? Same thing. But when you're studying other things, right, that involved more in-depth stuff, and then you go to the university, next, right? Because not too many people jump from high school to university, except those real genius kids. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Or, somebody may get a scholarship because of their, you know, like, it's kind of like skipping a grade, I guess. You can do that. But that's not like everybody, that's not like the regular Joe. You know what I mean? I'm the regular Joe, you know? And so I had to go take the whole route, you know? And I even have a learning disability. Yeah, I have a documented learning disability, you know? Albert Einstein, he had a learning disability, So not all learning disabilities are the same, but, you can't really... some people are good at some things, some people are good at others, some people feel some way at this and that and the other, right? And those can be counted as an issue, which could lead to, something involving your learning capabilities, right? Right. So anyways, once you get over to the university now, that is a whole new world. It's even so different than like a community college. It's so difficult. It is so hard. It is super hard, right? It's not like, and you know what? It's not like, oh, this is, the question, and here's the answer, so study it. So when we ask you the question, you should know it, right? No. It's not like that. It's like, here's the question, go find the answer. They don't even tell you where to look. Well, they want credible sources. That's the main thing. Make sure, because that's what they teach you, make sure whatever you are doing here is coming from a credible source. You have to cite those sources. You have to show what these sources are. You can't just be like, I got it from Wikipedia, because Wikipedia is not a credible source. You have to go to specific places to find certain things, right? And they make you go find it. So it's really not, they make you think. They force you to think. And then, imagine you work so freaking hard on a paper, right? And then you turn it in, you're so proud of it. And you get the paper back, and it's like a B plus, and you're like, yes, because in the universities, that C is like a D or a fail. You cannot, in some subjects, and you can't get anything below a B. Yeah. And they only give you 3 chances to take it. If you can't get that B on 3 chances, it's time to change majors, right? But if you don't make the effort, and by the 3rd time you don't do it, it's probably because that's not your thing. Maybe that's not what you want to do. You have to be passionate about wanting that major, right? Because if you want it, you'll get it, right? I had to take university algebra 3 times. I was determined. I spent like most of that time with the professor on their days that they were open. I went to tutoring, and then I finally passed it. But it's not regular algebra. They combine algebra, geometry, and trigonometry together, and they call that algebra. When I saw that, I was like, oh my God. It was so, and because I had that learning disability, I was really lucky, because I was able to take double time to take that test. So I was able to just think and relax and focus, and it was so hard. But anyways, like, that's how they do. They force you to learn. If you're going to be there, you better fucking learn, or you go somewhere else, right? It's no joke, you guys. So even though you don't need to go to school to learn, and you can, go and find the information yourself, it's really good to get and get knowledge from a higher educational institution, right? Because not only do they teach you specific about something, they show you how to research it and look up information for it, right? It doesn't matter what subject you take, right? But like I said before, if it's nursing and you're looking up nursing, so it has to be in that realm. If you take something else, like urban development or something, it has to be in that realm. And they will show you how to look up those things. Just like speech pathologist, right? You have to look in a certain place to deal with that stuff, right? Right. So they teach you in that realm. But if if you take a number of different things, you learn how to look up all those different things. Now me, I had a problem. I didn't know what I was going to do. I wasn't motivated. And, I took all these classes, all different subjects, up, down, left, right, everything. And I still couldn't figure it out until I finally found the thing that I really, really liked, and I focused really hard on it. I focused so hard, that was when I had to take, algebra 3 times, right? I focused so hard on it. And that subject was the ultimate subject. It was the study of everything. and with the knowledge I had from jumping around for other stuff, I had that kind of research knowledge, and then I had my final. So that, for me, I feel what's good about school is it doesn't really matter what subject you take. Well, it kind of does, if you want to learn about a multitude of things, then you take a subject that teaches you a multitude of things, right? But the most important thing about going to school and improving yourself by by doing better for yourself like that, is to focus on the way you studied and researched, where you looked for stuff, how you found. That is the part that's important. Because if you don't know how to look stuff up or figure out how to do research or do this, that, and the, how are you going to figure out what to look up? How are you going to know what's credible information? You have to know where to look. Right? And people don't always do that. They just look at the first place or whatever and, oh, that's the truth. No, well, who wrote that? Where is it coming from? You gotta do like that. Yeah, you gotta ask questions. Oh, and about that paper, right? Say you turn in a paper and you get a B+ on it, and you're like, yes, I got that B+. And then you go through it, and then at the end, the last page, there's a question in red ink. Why? How did you come up to this conclusion, and how do you feel about this subject? And it's not like a mean thing, it's just asking. And you have to answer that shit, and so that means you got another term paper to do. Really? You know what I'm saying? Really. It's not like you can go and tell the teacher at the front of the class. It's not like you just ignore that. No, you got to answer that. You got to answer that in a whole new separate paper. I'm telling you, it's really hard. But like I said before, the most important thing that you can gain from giving yourself, a higher education is how you studied, how they taught you to study, how they taught you to use your mind to figure shit out. You know what I'm saying? That's the best thing that you can take away from getting an education. Because like I said, it doesn't matter what you studied, because you can look up every damn thing and you will know what to do and where to look, because you have the knowledge of knowing how to look it up. So simple. Anyways, that was a full explanation for me, what I feel. You know what I'm saying? Because now, like, it's so easy for me to, if I see something and I'm just like, let me go check that out. I can pull things up out of nowhere because because I know where to look. I know where to look and how, because, you know, I learned that in school. You know, so that's why, I mean, yeah, you don't need school, but, you know, in a sense you do if you want to find or know how to find the correct information. It's not just like Wikipedia. That's not, no. You know, it's not even like such and such magazine. It's got to come from a reputable source, like medical journals or legal journals or environmental journals, things like that, right? Anyways, that's all I have. That was something I wanted to talk about, and then I was thinking about something else and I forgot. So if I remember, I'll talk about it. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys. I'm Mona, the Sacred Geometry Universe Video Journal Diary for February 5th, 2026. And I'll talk to you next time. Bye.